Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
Welcome to Caneswear.
New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
And on cue, my dogs go crazy. It is Tuesday night. It is 6:30. We're here a little early. Is my mic not working? Your mic's not on. Are you sure it's me or is it you?
Can you hear me? Yeah, no, it's both of us. Now you can hear me, but I bet you can. I still hear your webcam.
I just checked it.
Because I hear it from far away.
Stay with me. Look at that. It defaulted back to it. What is going on?
Now you sound better. We both sound better. Finally.
And on cue, the dogs go crazy. It is Tuesday night. It is now 6:31. And the microphones are working properly now.
Thank God.
How about that? It is the Squared Circle Digest. I am Sean Stanley. That gentleman down there is Frankie Fresco. And he's the reason we're about a half hour early. Why?
Yeah.
It's a big game tonight for him. Big game.
Yes, sir. We have a big game. We're playing against Brazil at 8:00. So I'm just praying to God that we some way, somehow either tie or beat Brazil. That way we win our group and then we're able to play Panama instead of having to play Uruguay, who just eliminated the United States yesterday.
Yes. Offsides, man. Offsides. I don't know. I don't follow soccer enough to know anything about all that stuff. We are here to talk pro wrestling.
That we know.
And there is a lot to talk about. We're going to go through WWE first. We're going to get our Money in the Bank predictions. We will not do NXT because you do that on your show, correct?
Yes, hopefully tomorrow. Yes, we should be on tomorrow for Let Me Talk to You.
Okay, so but on Stanley Media House Network, I will post mine before the pay-per-view, but we will not go over those because Mr. Fresco and his brother do those on Let Me Talk to You. So make sure you tune in there tomorrow. And then Forbidden Door happened. We got Raw. I mean, there's a lot to talk to. We're going to go kind of chronologically through it. We're going to start with what happened on SmackDown. We'll start with the big stuff that happened. I mean, Tiffany Stratton. She's qualified. She's going to Money in the Bank.
I hope she wins, baby. Hopefully
she is the odds-on favorite. Her and Drew are the odds-on favorite to win, and we'll get in the whole Drew thing. But man, dude, the way it opened at Madison Square Garden, it is Solo and the bloodline pulling up. Then it's Cody, and there's a fight, and they brawl for a little while, and then everything kind of clears up. And then, of course, they have the acknowledgement ceremony. Jacob Fatu, Paul Heyman didn't sleep for like 3 days to make his role look so perfect, and he hadn't shaved. I mean, it was very good TV, and the bloodline, well, Solo Sikoa's bloodline turns on the wise man. And I said right then and there, I was like, what the hell have you done, Solo Sikoa? Your thoughts when you saw Paul Heyman crash through the table?
Well, first and foremost, I want to say what's up to Josh. I don't appreciate the flag that says "Let's go" and then he has Brazil on the side. So,
oh boy,
Josh, you're not on my good side today. But anyways, what did I think, man?
And also, real quick, Solo Sikoa grabs the microphone, and for the first time that I can remember, and maybe I'm wrong here, but he grabs the microphone and he says, "Madison Square Garden, acknowledge me." And Paul Heyman was like, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
And then, of course, to lead to everything, Paul Heyman says, "I do not acknowledge you as my tribal chief," which Frankie Fresco is displaying beautifully there on his
You noticed.
Yeah, I did. I noticed that you don't acknowledge me. I know you don't acknowledge me, my friend. I got that.
I wasn't trying to. I acknowledge you.
He gets put through a table. You don't get acknowledged, and I keep bringing you on the show.
Oh, Lord. Yeah. Well, look, I'll tell you this. I knew they were going somewhere with this. Obviously, the Jacob Fatu was the whole thing. That was what they were selling us, that he was gonna be like, I guess, indicted or like, I guess, presented to the bloodline officially. And then all of a sudden, later down in the backstage, you see them saying, no, it's not about Jacob Fatu. It's about you. It's about you being, I guess, Paul Heyman being known as the wise man, right? Yeah. So when that happened, and then I see that I thought it was something weird because obviously, Paul Heyman did a phenomenal job with his eyes, like not sleeping and stuff. That way he could act the role really well. And he was like, all like not shaved, kind of like me right now. So it's like, I was like, man, this is good. This is like, oh, you're selling it. You're selling it to us. And then all of a sudden, when he took the mic, I was like, oh man, this is gonna be good. Once I saw that, I was like, this is gonna be good. And then when he took out what do you call that? What the necklace, the whatever they put on?
It's a lei, but I don't know what I know it's got a different name because it's for like the tribal leader, the tribal chief. It's the lei to recognize the tribal chief, but I don't know the name of it.
Well, when he said that and he took that out, and I saw Paul Heyman's reaction, and then he was telling, once he started going word by each one to
acknowledge
Tonga Tua and then all those guys, and they were telling, hey, acknowledge me and all that. And then all of a sudden, like, I saw that he was putting the focus on Paul Heyman. I was like, there's no way he's gonna acknowledge him. But this made me so happy because, dude, we gotta get Roman now. Now the question is, are we getting Roman in Money in the Bank, or are we getting Roman?
That was my whole thing, man. Like, I was like, oh, maybe they'll bump, but then I'm like, man, like, I don't know that they've got me. They've got me shook on this one. I know Roman's coming back, but does this lead to, because for me, look, man, my whole thing was, okay, Paul Heyman kind of responds back, but you just put the guy through a table. He's out, right? I mean, technically, Paul Heyman has not you. If I hear "ladies and gentlemen," I'm gonna be like, "That's freaking Superman."
Yeah,
Paul Heyman's now Superman. I mean, he took the Samoan spike, the headbutt from Jacob Fatu, then got put through the table.
Man, they had a hard time picking him up too. Did you notice that?
Yeah, I mean, come on, he's not the lightest, brother. He's not.
Big boy.
And when he goes up, you see, like, the belly that gets in the way, man. He's trying to get on the grab the head. He's like, oh, I gotta reach around.
And you saw him; he was like biting his like mouth, because he was like, man, I'm gonna have to like. I wonder how long has it been since he's taken a bump like that? Like, it must be a couple of years now. So,
man, I gotta believe, yeah, like that's not so. It's not like they said, hey, we're gonna work this out and make sure you can do it. No, it was like, look, I may only have one in me, So let's do it that way. If I get hurt, I get hurt. But damn it, it's going to be a great story, man.
Dude, it got the most views since WrestleMania.
Dude, I mean, it is powerful, man. Because I've always said, man, and when we talked here, I was like, it started so damn slow from WrestleMania. It was like kind of like you knew Solo was slowly becoming that. But I don't know if it was storyline driven or if something just clicked for it's like you followed his whole path to how he became like, he was always that guy, the enforcer, and then he was still the enforcer, and then he was trying to be the leader at the same time. And then he realized I can't be both. I need to find my enforcer. And then now I become the leader. And like you've seen that progression work out, and it's been freaking phenomenal, man. Sorry,
Absolutely.
AJ. Sorry.
It was amazing, man. I thought they did a phenomenal job with that. And you know something? I think that after all this, Roman coming back eventually and all that stuff, man, did you see how they presented Jacob Fatu? Like, I feel like they're gonna push
They
him.
know he's a star, bro.
Yeah,
He's
gonna go over these guys because they presented him like he was better than Solo.
Look, I mean, I don't know how much you saw of Jacob Fatu in the independents. He has cut up. Like, he was big guy, but now he's like muscular looking. He was just a big like Samoan guy in the indies. It feels like, they might have got with him and been like, hey, look, this is what we want you to do because we want to debut you like a star. And man, have they ever. It's going to be interesting. And we got EA Minutes is in, Josh is in, No Doubt's in, my dad's in, Hassan Terrell is in. We appreciate you guys. You're watching us on YouTube. Everybody that's watching us on X. And if you're watching us anywhere else, please don't forget, jump over YouTube, hit the subscribe button, Stanley Media House Network, or Frankie Fresco. Help us out. Support us.
You don't have to acknowledge us, but definitely.
Don't acknowledge.
Acknowledge the channels, though.
And then the one thing No Doubt, this was the one thing, too, that I thought was kind of, like, I feel like this has been set up to not to happen here. I mean, let me chew this wisely. Roman's dad has been sick for a long time. He passed away. He succumbed to that sickness. And I feel like this was done on purpose at this moment, at this time, in Madison Square Garden on a night that they acknowledged Sika.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it added another layer to this story already, man. Like, remember who put that on Roman when Roman beat Jay? It was his dad that put the leg on Roman. And now the night there, the tributes for Sika and everything else in Madison Square Garden, which is really like, hollow ground for WWE. It's Solo with Jacob Fatu putting the lay on Solo Sikoa, acknowledging him as the tribal chief.
Yes, and Bounce, what's up? I see you're here as well.
Yeah, Bounce, what's up, buddy? I just saw you jump in there. EA Minutes got a good point here, man.
Hold on, before we jump into EA Minutes' point, I do want to say this. I'm a little bit surprised that Roman's gonna come back so quickly after his father passed away. I would have thought I thought he was gonna come back soon, but I thought because his father passed away that there was a good chance that he was going to take even more extensive time, in my opinion. I still don't
think he's coming back on Money in the Bank. I know I said I think he would, but I think you still just I think you bring back Jimmy or something like that.
Jimmy
like there's something that gets added to it, but not Roman. Like, I don't know. I feel like if you bring Roman back now, and it's what EA Minutes is saying now, Roman becomes the biggest babyface in the company. As soon as he appears, as soon as that music hits, he becomes the biggest babyface in that company.
So EA says the problem if Roman comes back, he might outshine Cody.
I don't think he might. He will.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
At first, I'm not saying maybe it doesn't, last as long as what Cody has. And I'm not saying Cody, loses anything either. But when that music hits, after everything that's been going on, with Solo and everything else, when his music hits and you hear that, then people are going to go crazy.
Yes.
And you know what I would love? What if Roman just walks out and freaking hugs Solo? And this is just like, bah, screw you all.
He could.
I did this. I don't need that guy. That guy cost me the title.
I would agree with you if my memory serves me right, you remember that image of Roman and Paul Heyman at the end of WrestleMania.
Right before they walked through the curtain.
So that's why I can't in no way, shape, or form see him just going ahead and saying, hey, I'm glad you betrayed Paul Heyman.
But here's the thing. They whispered something in each other's ears.
They did.
Whether they did it on the, for this whole thing to play out, I don't know. However you want to play it. And then Roman has not contacted Paul Heyman in the storyline. Remember, Solo said, you haven't talked to him since WrestleMania, and Paul Heyman said, correct.
Are you mad that they didn't take our idea of like the phone or like give us like little
man, you know what?
I was so mad. I was like,
what if the phone would have slid out of his pocket when he got powerbombed and the camera picks up on it and it says Roman Reigns calling?
Or it lights up.
As he's
like
laying, that's what I'm saying. It lights up and then you look, they zoom in on it and it says Roman Reigns calling. As the bloodlines on the desk doing their acknowledge thing, it says Roman Reigns calling and Heyman's just laid out.
I'm telling you, they should hire us as for
at least
storytelling.
For that, but damn man, they haven't missed anything on this whole thing, bro.
Now,
I honestly, dude, the first couple weeks, I was like, this is done. The first couple weeks after WrestleMania, I was like, oh, this bloodline thing's not going so well. And God, man, did they pick it up.
But they did a really good job. And, they kind of referenced it a little bit on Monday night as well with when Chad Gable came out for Jey Uso and the whole, you left your family and all that stuff too. So it's like they're throwing like little nuggets because I caught that too. I was like,
well,
okay.
But I got a thing for you. And I got something else for that one as well. Another little Easter egg that I think, again, this is what I love about the storytelling is that you can go into it and you could talk yourself into any way that's going to happen and none of it could happen. All of it could happen. Some of it could happen. This is what to me makes pro wrestling so damn good is when you can sit there and look at things and go
100%.
Okay, they're going this way. Damn it. They went that way, but why? I don't like it. Oh, I love it. It's like, damn, bro. Like
that's the reason why AEW is so good too. Right. No,
they need to do pay-per-view. We'll discuss Forbidden Door here in a little bit.
It was. I didn't catch all of it, but we'll talk about it.
Yeah. Also on the SmackDown, Tyrese Halliburton of the Indiana Pacers.
I was so mad at that.
In Madison Square Garden. So was Jalen Brunson. I loved that Logan Paul said, I'm bringing somebody out with me that knows how to win in Madison Square Garden.
That was good.
Tyrese Halliburton.
That was good, but you know what? I wasn't happy at the Tyrese Halliburton because it actually made me want to cheer for Jalen Brunson, and I'm a Heat fan, so But
I heard his hand. I smiled a little. I was like, yes.
And I knew Jalen when they came out and it was face to face. I was like, yo, this is good. Like this is like they're making it really good for the fans. And then that New York crowd went insane. Dude.
Yes, I just don't know if it's going anywhere. There's talk that they would like to do more, but how do you do it?
I mean, if they're going to do something, do it now because they're not NBA season right now.
You can't do it like WrestleMania's in the middle of NBA season, so that can't happen. No. But it'd have to be in New York or in Indiana, right? It's got to be at one of those two.
Well, Indianapolis is getting everything, right?
Well, they're getting Royal Rumble first, though, which is in February, which would still be during NBA season, so that wouldn't happen then. But maybe, look, long-term storytelling, man. They let it play out.
But it was good. It was good. Smart by Logan Paul.
Yeah, I thought SmackDown overall was pretty damn good to me, man. They took care of their Money in the Bank matches. Naomi won, Tiffany won, and was there a men's one too as well? I think there was. Oh yeah, it was LA Knight. Sorry, LA Knight.
Yes,
advanced. And the other thing that I like what WWE did is they ended the speculation of who's going to be in Money in the Bank last night. So now you've got all SmackDown to do whatever you want to do leading into the PLE. Keep calling it goddamn pay-per-view, man. But I like the fact that now we know who's all in the match. You know what I'm saying? After last night. Raw last night. They continued with the Wyatt Six.
I'm a little disappointed. A little disappointed about that.
No, I wasn't, man.
A little disappointed.
I wasn't, because here's the thing. And then also, I don't know if you've seen online, there's some people saying that when Chad Gable was at a table under the 18-wheeler, it was Huskus. The doll was like there.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know.
I don't know if that was photoshopped or not. Again, they weren't, like trusted sites or anything. So we'll see what happens there. But I like the cinematic effects they use, man. Chad Gable going all through the crowd, backpedaling, looking around. He gets to the one exit, and it's one of the Wyatt Six members. He starts going down the way. There's the other one. Then the other one, they jumps up and goes. And they never touched Chad Gable again. Chad Gable got taken out the first night. That's the only time they've touched him. And then last night, they do another video, which, dude, them videos are badass, bro.
They are.
But they're telling little things if you listen to them. So for instance, I liked when he said, "I'm the voice of the reckoning," and then Uncle Howdy goes, "I am the reckoning."
Yeah, I like that. I like that. I like that. That's cool. I just wanted them to go ahead and kind of tell. I hope it's still not too late. They kind of introduce the other ones as well. So like that would be cool.
No, yeah, I think they will, but I think right now it's the battle of Bo Dallas, which I'm not sure how they're going to do this. Is it going to be Bo Dallas, Taylor Rotunda? How are they going to figure out, like, because right now you can tell it's like a mental thing that's going on between him and Uncle Howdy. He's transitioning into the Uncle Howdy thing. It's kind of going through everything. But he did say a couple things in the thing. He said, there are people belittling their own families for personal gain, and they must pay.
That's a shot to Chad Gable right there.
Is it Chad Gable?
Remember, Chad eventually referenced it too.
Yes. But here's my thing. Who else also? Now, technically, depending on how you want to look at it, Chad Gable threw out the Easter egg there when he said you took their fireflies.
I saw that.
You have also left your family.
And remember what I told you. I said that one of the things that would be very good for Uncle Howdy is to challenge Jey Uso because of the whole firefly things, and they both have it. So I could see how the crowd can relate to both. It
has thrown it to me again, as I read into it, because the way they're kind of putting it all together, they haven't touched Chad Gable. Yeah, it looks like they're chasing Chad Gable because Chad Gable's scared for his life right now because he thinks they're after him. But if you look back, think about this. When the lights went out and everybody got attacked in the back, who was in the ring and who just won and went out and celebrated in the crowd?
That was Jey Uso.
Jey Uso. Last week.
But he was nowhere to be shown afterwards after he won. Because I was wondering, where did he go?
Well, you're not going to go back to the back where the murder's going on. What are you going to get shot?
No, but they followed Chad Gable though. They didn't follow Jey Uso.
Did they follow Chad Gable, or Chad Gable happened to be there?
I mean, I know you like throwing these hypocritical.
I'm just saying because to me it would look. You've got Gable, and you've got Jey Uso.
I could see them going after both
in the Money in the Bank, right? So now, what happens if? Boom, they're both going up the ladder. The music hits. Automatically, you think they're going after Chad Gable. And instead, they go after Jey Uso.
I think they might go after both of them. It makes sense to go after both of them.
Maybe. Again, it could be both. I'm just saying, to me now, it has thrown a little bit of a hiccup into saying, oh, it's just Chad Gable. To me, and again, I overthink it. I get it. I love this stuff to where it's like, oh, let me try to figure out a way around this where I can be smarter then
Well, what No Doubt is asking is that something you were gonna say? Because he says, was Jay there 2 weeks ago when the first tape was delivered? Is that where you were going? Because I know I cut you off for a split second there.
no. I'm trying to think if he was actually there.
The first time I don't remember. I mean, I know in the scene he wasn't there.
First one was Chad Gable versus who was wrestling?
I don't remember who he was wrestling. I don't
No,
remember.
you might be right on that one. There,
he wasn't wrestling Jey Uso.
No, it wouldn't have been Jey Uso because he won. It was the Money in the Bank. It was the Money in the Bank qualifier, wasn't it?
Let me see. Money in the Bank. Chad Gable. Y6 altercation.
Yeah, I don't think he was. I don't think it was Jay was involved in the very first part of the tape. I don't think he was in the first one. I may be wrong, but I don't.
Actually, you're right. It was Braun Strowman, Chad Gable, and Bronson Reed.
Yeah, and then Gable wins, and then the lights go out, I believe.
Correct. That is true. That is exactly what happened. So it was them three wrestling in the Money in the Bank.
Okay, so then there's been twice where Uso's been involved in it, and the one time Chad Gable. Again, however you want to look at it, it's again how you want to look at it. No Doubt said he had just beat the two monsters. Yeah.
Now, Cat for Life is saying you got the 6-6 Judgment Day Bloodline versus the Bloodline, and is LW still in thing? I don't know where Cat for Life is going with this.
Well, I think he's trying to say that you can have Survivor Series type matches, I guess. The Bloodline, the LWO, I guess maybe all the factions he's talking about. Maybe he's talking about like a Survivor Series type match where you've got the 6-6 Judgment Day and the Bloodline versus the new Bloodline, and I wouldn't put LWO in there.
Nah, LWO.
The only way you put LWO in there is if they're taking the pin.
Although you haven't seen the other two guys for a minute, right?
Yeah, they got beat up. They got put out. I forgot in the back at one point by somebody. I forgot what that is. War Games, yeah, but that's usually an NXT pay-per-view. War Games.
That is.
So, but we'll see, man. Hey, look, it's all free game right now in here. Maybe they bring the War Games to Raw. Also, Drew McIntyre last night, as we said, punched his ticket to Money in the Bank.
About that,
dude. How about the shirt, man? DM Hunk.
Did you see the photos that he put out today? And I walked the line. Get the hell out of here. Like I saw that crap and I was like, oh my god, this freaking guy, bro. Yeah, he took like photos with his wife, and he has.
Oh, I did see that. I didn't know that was part of that. I saw like him, the wife, and the dog.
No, it's a cat.
Oh, is it a? Oh, I thought it was. It's like a. Is that a dog? That's a cat.
Yeah, it's a cat. It's a cat. And then he has his wife, and then his shirt says, "I walked the line." I was like, wow, this guy. I know Bounce is happy as hell once he saw that. I was like, oh man, this guy's
they're so good at this, dude. And the fact that last night when he ends it and he says, I am going to Money in the Bank, I'm winning Money in the Bank, and I'm leaving Money in the Bank World Heavyweight Champion.
Tough to go.
This is what I will say. If Money in the Bank men's match is the first match of the night, Drew McIntyre is winning.
Why if it's the first match?
Because then Seth Damien will be the main event with Drew doing the cash in, and then that's when CM Punk appears.
Yeah, because he did mention saying that he was gonna cash it in. Like he said, I'm leaving Money in the Bank as a champion.
Yes, and CM Punk said as long as I'm in WWE, he will not be champion. So something's got to give there. Something's got to give.
Yeah, and do you agree with the fact that if he does win the briefcase, he should cash it in that same night?
Kane's done it. I mean, there's been times where it has happened. I mean, even Liv did it against Ronda Rousey that won Money in the Bank.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, it's been done. And if it leads to this story, like if he goes to cash it in and CM Punk costs him again, like SummerSlam has got to be like a cage match or something. Like it can't be it's got to be like a fight, last man standing or something. And I get it, CM Punk's first match back, but it's got to mean something. It can't just be like Hey, it's Drew versus CM Punk. Yay!
No, it has to be more. It has to, but
Or they
remember
can
what
go
Punk
all
said.
WCW and put the bracelet on a pole match. The first one to get the bracelet wins.
The bracelet. But remember CM Punk said he didn't have to do all that. That he just wanted to beat Drew McIntyre in a regular match,
Yeah,
1-on-1.
no, that's true. He did say that, but man, like at this point, that it's gotten to a point to where it's like it's going to be an explosion somewhere. Then the other thing we got to talk about, of course, is Liv Morgan. Judgment Day keeps it going. No doubt says, would Priest kind of downing Judgment Day count as turning on your own family?
Now, let's talk about that because Finn Balor got involved more.
Yes, he did. And go ahead.
No, go.
I was gonna say at the end when after everything was done and everything, and they're walking in the back, Damian said thank you, and he sticks his hand out. Finn didn't return. He did not return the fist bump. He just left him hanging, and then Damian walked away at the end after everything else went through with the Seth Rollins and everything else. There's some dissension there, and that's interesting too because again, now you've got a third person who could be.
And this is the first time that Damian Priest actually calls out Dom and tells him, I did speak to mommy. So
Yes.
he's giving a hint that maybe we're seeing the return of mommy back into
and what I thought was going to happen would be Liv and Dom versus Ray and Zelina. They're setting up for that. I mean, there's no way that they're not going to get to that. So I don't know that Rhea returns at Money in the Bank. I think Rhea returns on Raw because as Dom and Liv are leaving to the back, she says, I'm sorry, I'll take care of it. And remember, when she says she takes care of it, she got Finn and JD the match for the tag team titles. She got Dom the match with Ray. So I feel like the way I'm going to take care of it is it's going to be me and you, Daddy Dom, against Ray and Zelina. And then I think we see Rhea return.
But don't you think Daddy Dom is such a lucky guy, bro? Like he gets to fall on Liv Morgan on top of her. And all
what is going on? He wasn't getting off too quickly either.
No, I wouldn't. I
should have pushed Ray away. He should have been like, "Hey, Dad, let me go, Dad. Why are you doing this?"
Would have stayed there all night. Hell yeah, man. Guy is lucky as hell.
Oh my goodness, man! It has turned into something different, man.
It does.
Like it's taking the Judgment Day a little bit. Because I thought it was just going to be like a breakup, but now they've done this match to where, and this is the interesting thing. So they've set this up to, and just hear me out on this, okay? Mm-hmm. Seth Rollins loses. He cannot get another championship match until Damian Priest loses the title. Right? Or Damian Priest isn't the champion anymore.
Correct.
If Seth wins, then he's got to leave Judgment Day.
Yes.
And as I'm talking this out now, it wouldn't work out the way I thought it would. Because my thinking was this. Drew cashes in. They cheat. Damian beats Seth. Seth never gets to fight Damian again. Drew comes in, cashes in. But then he'd have to win the title, which we know CM Punk has said he's never going to win the title. But if he does win the title, then that stipulation is done. Or Damian goes and loses to Gunther at SummerSlam and the stipulation's off anyways. Because as soon as Damian loses the belt, then Seth is back in the picture.
I could guarantee this. I think once Money in the Bank is over, Drew McIntyre is going to be a champion. That I could agree. That I feel like it's going to happen.
CM Punk a liar.
No, because CM Punk probably won't come back for SummerSlam. It'll probably be Drew McIntyre, Gunther, and I think they find a way to either put Seth Rollins or Damian Priest back into that mix. I think it's going to be a three-way. I don't think it'll be a one-on-one at SummerSlam. I mean, WWE could go with Drew versus CM Punk for the title, but then what about Gunther? You understand me? So Gunther needs a title shot. So he's going to be in the main event of SummerSlam, one way or the other for that title belt.
Yeah.
So we got to figure out who is he fighting? Is he going to be fighting Damian Priest? Is he going to be fighting Seth? Is he going to be fighting Drew?
I just wish we knew what the stipulation was with CM Punk and his health.
Yeah, I don't
because
remember.
that changes everything. Because if Drew's got CM Punk, they don't need a title.
They don't.
You know,
but then do you want to cheat Drew McIntyre from just winning the Money in the Bank and then not being able to cash in and win it? That would make no sense.
Well, remember they did the one time where Otis got beat and lost the briefcase because somebody put the briefcase on the line and challenged him and he won it. The Miz, I think it was, and then there was somebody else that cashed it in and lost it like real quick. I forgot who that was.
Oh, so you're telling me like maybe they do a 3-way and then Seth pins Drew McIntyre? Or
No. Like Seth, like they do the match, however, again, and then Drew McIntyre comes out to cash in
after the fight is over.
Yeah, goes for the pin again, and then there's CM Punk pulling the ref out. Whatever it is to cost CM Punk or to cost Drew the match, because the thing is, we already know it's Gunther against the champion.
Yes.
At SummerSlam. We know that.
Yeah.
But the problem is, if CM Punk isn't healthy, then Drew McIntyre makes sense to cash in, win the title, and go to SummerSlam. If CM Punk isn't healthy. If CM Punk is healthy and ready to go, then Drew against CM's got to happen at SummerSlam.
It's going to be interesting which route they go. And what's up, Tyler? I saw your message earlier. And of course, Vamos Gatos 89. Thank you, sir. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. I honestly feel that whatever they decide to do, right, whether they give the title to Drew, it doesn't hurt them because obviously Drew and CM Punk probably in SummerSlam would be nice for the belt as well. But then you have to put Gunther in there, so it could be a 3-way. But I think
that takes away from everything they've done. Gunther hasn't been involved. And if it's a 3-way, it would almost make sense for it to be Damian against Seth against Gunther, because remember when Gunther interrupted them, he said it doesn't matter which of you win because I'm better than both of you.
I think the route that they're going to go is Damian Priest is going to lose. After what I saw with Finn Balor and the whole situation, I don't see him anytime with the Judgment Day. I think he's getting out of the Judgment Day. I think he's going to lose the belt this weekend.
It might be them costing him the belt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But see, I almost feel like Rhea, because Finn says that belt has changed you. And he goes, well, remember when Rhea was the champ, she ran Judgment Day. I'm the champ. I run Judgment Day. So what happens if he loses the title? Then Finn's the champ, right? Because it's a tag team champ. That's all there is. So then does Finn run Judgment Day since he's the champ?
Yeah, but he would be out. Remember, he said that he's out of the Judgment Day if he doesn't win.
That's the part that
and I think that's where you're gonna see now the passing of the torch. It would now be Finn running the Judgment Day.
I just feel like that's just a lousy way to eliminate. Man, I don't know, man. There's so much more that could happen there to where.
You know what? Cap is having a very good, solid point. Maybe Finn Balor costs Damian Priest the belt and turns on him, and that's how you sell it. Finn Balor comes to the ring.
I can see that as well.
He comes
and just him losing and out of the Judgment Day.
He comes to help. Remember, after Damian Priest 20,000 times has told him, I don't want it. I don't want you helping me and all that stuff. And then he finally gets fed up and he double crosses Damian Priest.
Yeah.
And then now you have that.
I see that happening more than, I don't see Damian losing clean. Seth doesn't beat him clean.
Yes, I agree.
It's got to be. Again, and I'm not saying that Seth couldn't beat him clean. What I'm saying though is in the storyline to me, it just doesn't make sense if Seth beats him and he's out of Judgment Day. And that's it. It's over. It's like, oh, okay, I'm out. See you later, Judgment Day. With everything you've worked for, it's got to be somebody else stepping up to take the lead, which, again, that could happen with Finn there. But I felt like Rhea would return before the whole blow-up happens.
But the thing is, if that happens, then she has to return at Money in the Bank. She can't return on Monday. So you're gonna have spoilers where it's Rhea coming back on Money in the Bank, and then Finn turning on Damian Priest, which would make sense.
No doubt says it right there. Finn is messing around with Liv. The Dom thing is just to mess with Rhea. It could be Liv and Finn in together.
That's a good point.
Running it up.
It could be, but see,
and
the thing is that
Dom with Rhea, again, the whole thing, 100%.
I think Rhea's gonna make a return.
I didn't know that it would be.
How long has she been gone out?
Because if she returns at Money, it was right after WrestleMania, wasn't it? A little bit after WrestleMania, the first pay-per-view after WrestleMania.
Yeah, I think that's one. Because she injured herself. I think it was gonna be like a 3-month treatment. So has it been 3 months since she?
Oof, it's close.
That's what I'm trying to think.
It probably need another month. It'd probably be SummerSlam time.
Well, she could still return. She just can't take a bump.
April was WrestleMania, and then I think it was around May, so 3 months would be about August. But again, she doesn't have to bump right now. She just comes back. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, you come back now, and then as you get better to fight at SummerSlam. I don't know. I don't know if you can, because like I just feel like, and again, this is where I'm more old school in this. With everything that's been done to her by Liv, it should be a cat fight as soon as they see each other. It should be Rhea ripping Liv's arm off and beating her with it.
I'm gonna go on paper and call it. I'm gonna say Rhea makes a return at Money in the Bank. I'm calling it. I think she comes back, and I'm gonna call it saying Finn Balor some way somehow backstabs Damian Priest. I see that happening at Money.
Right, I got to get the Money in the Bank card. I closed it out by accident. Hold on.
No worries. So then, while you're doing that, let's see what No Doubt says. Well, Rhea last match was in Australia. No, Cat for Life, Australia. Remember she got it was her last match, but I remember her injury was when Liv Morgan pushed her against the wall and injured her elbow. So that was when
that was right after that pay-per-view. Okay. It was right after that pay-per-view.
Oh, and then No Doubt writes, McDonald has a tag belt with Finn. They are together. Carlitos is with those two. I have no idea what happens with Dom. All conjecture, obviously. I mean, for me, I think Carlitos doesn't play a big part. I think he's fine there, but
Carlitos just cool.
Yeah, he's just gonna roll with the crew. Didn't you see him play a video game? He was just chilling.
He said, Damien, I'm you.
Yeah. Like I'm noticing that they're using Carlito more kind of like the same they were using.
He's the R-Truth role.
The R-Truth role. Yeah,
but just more of a fit for the group.
100%. 100%. And then we haven't spoken about that. Braun Breaker and Sammy. That was good last night too.
Dude, I love the way they're building that up, right, man? It was Sami Zayn, like, you can put me down, but I'm not gonna stay down. Breaker, of course, spears him. Then he rolls out of the ring, pulls himself up. Braun does the sprint around the ring, hits the things, the exploder, goes for the Luva kick, gets the spear. I like it, man. I like what they're doing. I don't know that Sammy wins this match, but we're gonna go through our picks right now, actually. So,
well, before we do that, I gotta say something, and I was a little bit upset about Monday night last night.
Okay.
And it was the fact that they keep screwing over
Dakota Kai. Yes.
Why? And she was mad.
Did you last night?
Did you see that? Did you see? Because she came out on social media, I think last week or 2 weeks ago.
I think this is part of
what she said.
No, I know, but this is all the role she's playing now. Like, if you've watched her on her feed, on her Twitch feed and everything, she's getting more like agitated by the minute. And then you saw her kind of snap in the back, like, everybody gets in our business and everything else. And then I think they're gonna build to her to like just have this big blow up and just be her own person. I believe is the way they're going.
I think she's gonna leave the group.
Damage Control.
I think she's gonna leave Damage Control because what's gonna happen is gonna blow up.
It makes sense. It makes sense at this point. Like, I thought, why not have her win? And it's her and Io Sky going up the ladder, and then she's got to put, she turns on Io or something, and then she doesn't have to win it at that point. But you start seeing more of the Dakota Kai singles run, which is what I was hoping for. But we didn't get it. Zoe Stark. What is going on, Zoe?
Why
Stark?
are they giving Zoe Stark an opportunity?
God.
I was so mad when I saw that crap.
Oh, it's just bad.
So
It's just all right. So let's go with it. Here goes this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 matches.
that's it. You sure it's not like AEW where you have like 8
No, there's not 14. There's 5. 5.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
5. We're not getting everybody on the card, man. Maybe we'll do a 0 hour and 2 hours of matches before 2:12. No, I'm just kidding. All right, so we'll go with the men's Money in the Bank. It's Jey Uso, Carmelo Hayes, Andrade, Chad Gable, LA Knight, Drew McIntyre. What say you, chat? What say you, Frankie Fresco?
You know me. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I obviously, let's rule out the guys that obviously make no sense to win it. So because they're not hyped up to technically Andrade and Carmelo Hayes. I don't think
that's Mello in the bank, baby.
I know.
He's like, I'm the only Mello that's been good in Madison Square Garden. That right there made me like him a whole lot more.
So those are the only two that I'm like, it wouldn't make sense to give it to any of those. Now, the other guys all have, even LA Knight, actually, they all have a good opportunity. You know, obviously, Drew McIntyre makes the most sense. Chad Gable and Jey Uso with the whole Wyatt 6, it should be good. And then LA Knight, you could throw even LA Knight in there. Maybe, you know what? Maybe let's get LA Knight out of there because he was having that whole issue with Logan Paul. So
here's my thing with what you're saying real quick before you go any further. Jey Uso and Chad Gable could get taken out by the Wyatt 6 during the match. That is
correct.
LA Knight could get taken out by Logan Paul during the match. Drew McIntyre could get taken out by CM Punk during the match. Then you have Carmelo Hayes and Andrade.
I mean, if I had to pick between those two, I would obviously pick Carmelo Hayes. But I don't think they're gonna. I don't think CM Punk is gonna come out.
You don't have everybody get eliminated from the match that way. Hopefully,
yeah. I don't think we're gonna get. I don't think we're gonna get Drew CM Punk in that Money in the Bank ladder match. I just don't see it. I don't know why, but something.
The only way, you know what? I would say this: if it closes out the night, yes. If it ends up being the main event, because then Drew. But see, that's where I say, like Drew said, he's going to cash it in, so he must know the match. They had to put the match before because he said
had to put it first.
Yeah, to me, it has to be first. Yeah, if it's first, it has to be. You're not getting CM Punk there. You'll get CM Punk at the cash in.
Yeah, I'm gonna go on a limb.
And by the way, betting favorite is Drew McIntyre. Just so you know,
I'm gonna go on a limb on the betting favorite. I'm gonna say Drew McIntyre. I think Drew McIntyre was it.
I don't think it's much of a limb, man. I'm with you, man. Once he got put in there, I was like, I think this is the plot that they've chosen to go with, one way or the other.
Okay, but now let's do this. If outside of Drew McIntyre, if there's anybody else you think might win, who would be your second choice?
Jey Uso.
I'm gonna say Chad Gable.
Okay.
I think Chad.
It was one of those two. I just went with Jey Uso because I feel like that, again, if Gunther wins the title, Gable's not cashing in on Gunther. Jey Uso would at some point, depending, again, big ifs and how long he has the belt, but that's down the line.
The only way I would see Chad Gable coming in is, remember, I know that he's still trying to find a family. And for some strange reason, I still have like a small percentage of me telling me that maybe Chad Gable would be willing to join the Wyatt 6 and they would help him instead of scaring him off. That's the only other way that it could be a twist where they're, instead of beating him up.
How about that? What if it's Chad Gable and Jey Uso going up? Chad Gable gets there and is like up on the ladder, the lights go out. And it's him and Jey Uso, and then he crawls up like a little ball, and then they take out Jey Uso and kind of welcome Chad Gable to the Wyatt 6.
That could happen. That's why I said that if I had to pick somebody,
my whole thing was, I thought, and then you kind of brought this up just now to me, which I always said it was going to be the Creeds and Ivy Nile to be his new family, just because it made sense with their backgrounds and but now if you want to start looking at what the Wyatts are doing and how manipulative Chad Gable is, can they start working a story that way? You know, that's going to be the interesting thing, because to me, if Chad Gable does join there, then he'd be the leader, right?
Not
To me,
necessarily.
Uncle Howdy would be controlling everything.
Not necessarily. I think possible. It's possible. But I don't see Chad Gable. If he joins, he wouldn't be the leader. Obviously, it's Uncle Howdy running the
Yeah.
show. But that doesn't mean that Chad would not be second in command. I think that would be the way it would kind of work,
Yeah, could do that. It'd just be very interesting to see how the dark side of Chad Gable. Like, you look at everybody else and they kind of fit, with Eric Rowan and Dexter Loomis and Joe Gacy and Nikki Cross. Chad Gable? Be very interesting. All right.
Be a left turn.
No, it's listen, it would have people talking. It would have people talking. And that's what they've been doing in here. Cheap shot Chad, somebody said. I like it. Women's Money in the Bank. Tiffany Stratton is the favorite right now, the betting favorite. It's Io Sky, Chelsea Green, Laya Valkyria, Tiffany Stratton, Naomi, Zoe Stark.
Okay, so I'm gonna rule out the obvious ones that will not win it, which is Zoe Stark and Chelsea Green. I don't think either one of them.
And Naomi.
And Naomi. Naomi ain't winning it. So that leaves Io Sky, Lyra Valkyria, and Tiffany Stratton. Me personally, I don't think Io Sky is gonna win it because she won it, I think last year or 2 years ago. So I don't think she's winning it. Remember, she won it and then she cashed it in and then she became the champion. So it's between Lyra Valkyria and Tiffany Stratton. Now, I'm a big Tiffy time. I honestly feel Tiffy time is that time for Tiffy, right? Time for Tiffy. But something's telling me that they really are homering in Lyra Valkyria. She didn't win the Queen of the Ring. I think they're gonna make it up to her, and I think she wins Money in the Bank. So I'm gonna go. Sucks for Tiffany. I'm sorry, Tiff, but I'm gonna go with Lyra Valkyria.
See, I think Lyra and Io end up taking each other out just because the way Raw went. I think you get Damage Control kind of taking Lyra out, and then Chance, Cartana Chance, and Caden Carter take out Io Sky, and I think Tiffany Stratton. I think it's Tiffy time, man. I'm going to go with the betting favorite just because. Look, again, to me, the Money in the Bank is kind of what the Queen of the Ring used to be. It was kind of you win the Queen of the Ring, you start your to the top. And to me, Tiffany Stratton and Lyra, of course, Io's already been there, but those two would be the two that fit that mold. But I feel like Lyra's got the story with Io Sky going, so I'm going to go with Tiffy time in this one.
I didn't want to go with the Tiffy because of the simple fact that I don't want to make it so obvious, but I'll go on a limb. I'll say something even more crazier. I'll go out on a limb and say they're gonna that Damage Control tries to go after Lyra Valkyria, and then not only do we get the return of Rhea Ripley, but we get the return of Becky Lynch, and Becky Lynch helps Lyra Valkyria win Money in the Bank.
Wow. Okay. All right. That would add some stuff to it. But man, that's a lot of surprises at a Money in the Bank.
I'm not saying Roman is coming, though.
Damian Priest, Seth Rollins, WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Again, if Seth loses, he does not get another title shot during Priest's title reign. If Damian Priest loses, he's out of Judgment Day.
I think Finn is interfering in this, and I think this is where we see Finn finally backstab. Well, not backstab, but kind of take that role as the leader of Judgment Day, and he knocks out Damian Priest, and Seth freaking Rollins wins this.
I'm gonna go Damian Priest winning it just to be different. And honestly, it could go either way. It could be Finn Balor helping him. It could be Judgment Day helping Damian Priest just because they want to keep him around and be the ones to take him out and not have Seth Rollins be the one to eliminate him. Like, I just feel like there's so many different ways and stories you could put this together, but I feel like I'm going to go with Damian. I don't know why. I just feel like he's going to walk out of, at least I believe he's leaving Toronto as the champion because I feel like the cash-in is going to be I think it's going to be stopped by CM Punk is ultimately what I see. Whoever wins this leaves Toronto the champion. I will go with Damian Priest. Sami Zayn, Braun Breaker, IC title. I'll go first. Braun Breaker, I think, sees the gold. And man, see, here's the thing. Here's the interesting thing, and we're going to go to AEW next. If somebody shows up at AEW Dynamite tomorrow, then Braun Breaker's winning. But if said person does not show up, I wouldn't put it past people for him to show up and cost Braun Breaker.
You're talking about Ricochet. That's what
Yes.
you're talking about.
Yes.
Something in me is telling me it's too soon for Zammy to lose the belt. I say Braun Breaker, even though he's a tough one, I say Zammy pulls it out some way, somehow. He pulls it out.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I don't think it hurts. I don't think it hurts Braun Breaker. So I think Braun Breaker, although he's like, he's a crazy and he's unstoppable right now, but I don't see Braun Breaker beating Zammy. I don't know. I think Zammy still has enough of a run with the IC belt.
Now, I don't know if this is the order of the matches, okay? But they have the men's Money in the Bank first, women's second, the champion, which it couldn't be because Sami Zayn would be before Damian Priest and him.
Facts.
So, because they have Cody, Randy, and Kevin versus the Bloodline as the main event in this.
I see. Look, this is the order I think it's going to happen. I think the men's Money in the Bank is going to be first. I think after that, you'll probably get
by Sammy.
Probably Zammy against
You'll get
Braun
at least
Breaker.
one match in between the two ladder matches.
You probably get Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, Kevin Owens, and the Bloodline third. Then you have the ladder match of the women.
Yeah.
And then I think they end the night with the Damian Priest, Seth
It's going to be very interesting to see something. If Cody, Randy, and Kevin, if that's the main event, I'm telling you now, Roman's coming back. Like if that main event's Money in the Bank, something big is happening.
If it's the last,
or at least
match,
they're going to tease something big is happening, and people are going to automatically assume, as I would, that it's going to be Roman. Now, again, we said it could be Jimmy. Why not start small? It's Money in the Bank. It's not like, you still got 4 SmackDowns before you even get to said SummerSlam, And so Cody Rhodes, Orton, Owens against Bloodline. Who do you got?
I'm going to go the Bloodline. I say the Bloodline wins this one. I think they're riding high. They're riding high. I don't think we're going to get Roman. I don't think we're going to get Paul Heyman. We're not getting any of those. I think this is a good one where, you get to solidify the Bloodline at a very good peak, right? They just finished getting rid of Paul Heyman. They're going to keep him up for a while because Paul Heyman can't return so quickly. He just got destroyed.
Yeah.
So there's no way. I don't think that's why I don't think Roman's going to come back. I think the best way to bring Roman back would be bringing him back in SummerSlam and bringing him back with Paul Heyman. That's the best way to bring him back. And then that lines up to start questioning what is going on here. Like, what's the next saga? I think the Bloodline wins, just a regular 3-on-3, no interference or anything like that. It's just, you're
going to get, I think, because Jacob Fatu is the odd man out in this one.
So he'll be.
I'm not sure. He's going to be in the corner, so he'll probably end up costing. I agree with you. If they do this match third, I think it's going to be more of the clean victory for the Bloodline. They need it, especially after what happened on SmackDown. Like you said, I agree 100%. And also, real quick before we jump to AEW, did you see what somebody said about since they took out Paul Heyman would get the Paul Heyman guys and come back to feud with them? Meaning CM Punk, Brock Lesnar, and Roman Reigns.
Do you see Brock Lesnar coming back?
I don't.
That's the problem. Because I saw somebody said, I think it was Cat for Life was mentioning Brock, I think, or No Doubt. One of you guys were mentioning. I don't
know, man. With everything that was going on and his name being in there mentioned, and everything else, that's as somebody said, a can of worms. That's something you don't want to bring up.
Yeah, I mean,
at this point,
is riding high
you
right
have
now.
distanced yourself from that situation. It's kind of in the back. Why bring it to the front?
100%.
And Brock, you're doing all this without him.
Exactly. They're
Brock
riding.
Lesnar was always the break glass in case of emergency for Vince McMahon.
Yeah, right now they're moving so high. They don't need Brock Lesnar for any firepower. They already have it.
Yeah.
And now they got to do it. They want even more firepower. Just bring Roman. that will bring it even more.
Pop the roof off that place.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump over AEW Forbidden Door. I watched the main card. I didn't watch like the 4 or 5 matches on 0 Hour. It was a good wrestling pay-per-view. I mean, it was good matches. That's what AEW does. Every pay-per-view is going to be at least good to great, depending on what they had. I thought the Swerve Osprey match was very good. Tony Storm Shirakawa was pretty good. It told the story that it needed to tell. Bryan Danielson, Takagi, I didn't ever get into that one. I don't know why. I just couldn't. And the crowd, it just felt this felt odd. That crowd just didn't feel like an AEW crowd. Like they had their moments, don't get me wrong, but it just felt like they just were like, yay, okay,
Well,
yay. There was their moments, don't get me wrong, but it just didn't have that energy that your normal AEW pay-per-views have.
I did not get to watch the whole card. Obviously, I had to pick up my dad from the airport, so that's why I wasn't able to go watch it. And I was watching that Mexico game. I wanted Mexico to get eliminated. So I did get to see the Monet fight, this guy, the second to last match, which was Moxley, and then I got to see obviously the main event, which was Osprey and Swerve. Now, I was keeping up on X. I was watching what was going on. I believe the learning tree lost, right? The learning tree lost.
Yes, actually, you know what? I was pleasantly surprised with the way they wrote that out, because Hook beats Jericho with his spinning elbow.
Okay.
So he hits him with his finisher and pins him. So I felt like it kind of was that the student getting over on, quote unquote, the tree, the learning tree, the teacher, because again, it all started with Hook and Jericho for the FTW title. That's where this whole thing started months ago.
Well, you know what? I was a little bit disappointing. I wanted the learning tree to win because Big Bill has been doing a phenomenal job on social media.
Yeah, but Big Bill looked like a monster when he was in there. They just eliminated him. They took him out, and then Jericho got hit.
But one thing that Big Bill has done is that every morning, I think he does it every Monday morning. He gives the learning tree analogy of the week, and then he usually goes and he gives you like, what's the next learning thing you should do, and it's very good actually. It's inspiring actually.
I look, man. I will
very
tell you
good
this.
actually. There you go. Bounce said it. I love the learning tree lessons of the week. They are amazing. They're very good. That me and Bounce always are. Either Bounce will send me his, or I'll send Bounce one, and we're like, okay, there you go, because we are always tuning in, like, what's gonna be the new learning, and they're very.
No, I love what they're doing with Big Bill. This is giving him depth as a character. Like, he's not just a big oaf anymore. He's got some. He's always had it. Now they're using what he does.
He is good, man. Yeah. And don't get me wrong, I like the rotten apple too, like the apple, the guy who's the apple.
Yeah, once his shoulder's back, I can't wait to see, because I think, again, maybe if he's in the match, it goes a little bit differently, because I felt like everything was gearing toward Cobb versus Samoa Joe leading up to it. And then Hook got the pin, which kind of surprised me, but I was like, hey, it makes sense. After everything's said and done, Hook beats Jericho and pins him clean. And nothing else.
I'm so surprised at how Jericho has like bounced back, finds a way to make himself relevant.
He does reinvent. I like the fact that he's not wrestling as much, and when he wrestles, it's an attraction. That was my whole thing with Jericho. It's like, bro, I don't need to see you every week, man. I don't need you to come out in your little trunks and be Lionheart Chris Jericho. Like, I'm glad he saw the writing on the wall and was like, hey, I got to reinvent myself again.
Hook just graduated. Yeah, that's like a funny one. But let me ask you this, because I didn't get to see this match. I saw a little bit of the highlights, but I didn't get to see all of it. How was the MJF fight? Was that a good fight, or was it just?
I missed it.
Oh, you didn't get to watch it either?
Nope. It was the first match, and I got in late.
Yeah, I saw on X some of the moves that he did, but
yeah, I mean, he did this MJF stuff. I mean, I knew what was gonna.
Yeah, he did.
Cesaro's not losing to. I mean, MJF's not losing to Cesaro.
He did the Ric Flair, and then I think he did like the Ravishing Rick Rude stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So that was pretty cool. I like that about him. Yeah. Now, on the Tony Storm match, I obviously that one's another one I didn't catch, but I did catch that they all did like a triple kiss together.
They did triple kiss at the end. Yes, they've come together as one. The respect is there.
Did the crowd go wild when all three?
Yes,
that's impressive.
It was probably one of the bigger pops of the night.
And it is the girl that, what is her name? I forgot her name.
Ina Shirakawa.
Shirakawa. Is she now part of AEW?
I haven't got the Shirakawa is all elite yet, so I don't know. But they were partying the backstage afterwards.
And I did see the media scrum, and in media scrum they were. I don't know if you saw it, but they were all dancing. All three of them had like a happy dance or something during the media scrum.
I did not stay up for the media scrum.
I stayed up for. I mean, the pay-per-view went from 8 to 12 at midnight.
Yes.
It was
past midnight. 12:10 Swerve pinned him.
Now the Moxley fight was boring. I saw that match and I was like, man, this is a boring fight. And I heard that the Orange Cassidy Zack Sabre was a really good fight.
It was a great technical wrestling match. A lot of reversals, a lot of things.
Okay.
Look, that is to me the one match that it got a lot of build, but it didn't really need the build because it was going to be a wrestling match. It's odd with me with AEW because like some people were like, oh, because I think it was Dave Meltzer sent out a tweet. He's like, that's how you finish a story. And they're like, oh, Tony Storm was a story? Yeah, it was a story. Like they've been building that thing up for a while with Mariah May and all that stuff. Maybe some of the things kind of jumped the shark to me. Like when Shirakawa crashed a champagne bottle over her head.
Oh, wow.
At the last Dynamite.
Oh, okay.
And then they go to break and they come back and it's announced that on 0 Hour, Mariah May will take on Saraya in the Owen Hart tournament.
Wow.
Like, she just got cracked in the head with a champagne bottle and now she's got a match. 0 Hour. I guess she's going to be okay.
And she won it, right? She won the 0.
She's going in. She's in.
Now, again, I wasn't able to see all of it. But from what I was able to see, my biggest moment of Forbidden Door was the return of Dr. Britt Baker.
Yep.
So I was
TMD.
Yes, and I think they're going right with this. I want to see Dr. Britt Baker versus Mercedes Moné.
Yeah, and I agree with what Blur said. They need to make sure Britt Baker is pushes the face because she was super over.
Now,
and Mercedes Moné actually turned heel in her match and started working more heelish against Stephanie Vacour, who I think AEW should sign as well because she looked tremendous as well.
Well, if a track record continues, knowing AEW, they'll probably steal her. But do you think it's a little bit too soon to put Mercedes Moné versus Dr. Britt Baker? Because after that, who would be if either one of them wins?
But you got All In coming up. You've got All In coming up. Britt Baker, Mercedes Moné, Wembley Stadium.
That's good.
Like that's the match, and that's next, I believe.
Yeah,
because August is All In.
That is correct.
So you're building to that. That is what you're building to.
Oof, that's a really good match. I'm not gonna lie.
You know what I'm saying? So it comes perfect. And if they held her out all this time, because my understanding was she's been working out with like DDP and everything else. So she's been doing stuff. So maybe they just held her out because they're like, there's no need to bring you back because what are we going to do? As you're saying, okay, you get in with Mercedes Moné. Now what? We need to bring you back so that it goes straight to All In, which is why I think they debuted her when they did, because now all roads lead to All In.
Makes sense. I wish it would have been Jamie Hayter instead, but because
Hayter's injury is a little bit more severe.
She's still recovering.
Yeah, she did something like a back and everything. It's a different injury, I believe.
Hopefully, it's not as long as Thunder Rosa, because Thunder Rosa was out for a while.
It takes a while, man, because it's like other injuries too. But then also, like now, you always land on your back.
Yeah.
So it's hard, man, to be like, okay, let me just fall to the concrete and land on my back that I just had surgically repaired, or even any, your shoulder. If you land too high on your shoulder, I can't remember exactly what Hayter's injury was, but
I thought it was like something with her knee.
It's a mind game, man. That's even worse. Knees are worse because then you got to run and jump and then also interesting things. Anything else real quick, Forbidden Door in the chat as well. Anything else you got?
Do you think they got it right? Swerve versus Will Ospreay. And remember, if you saw that match, Jesus Christ, how many finishing moves can you do on each other and kick out, man? That's the only thing that pisses me off. Like, I feel like they try to sell you like, oh my God, what a great fight between Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland.
They hit 600 finishers and
whatever happened to just hit your finisher and then you're done. You're knocked out. Like, they feel like, hey, the only way we're gonna build this fight and be such a great fight is if you kick out their finisher. But haven't you noticed that they do that with every single main event?
Hey, you hurt your finisher in a way because now whoever gets kept down by it looks weak.
Yes.
Or either that or Will Ospreay looks like Superman because I think he took 7 or 8 kicks.
Yes.
In the whole thing, like.
Yes, he left and right, and he was kicking out every single time. I'm like, dude, give up already. Like, what is this? Like, I think they go excessive, and they feel like they want the fans to feel like, hey, we won. Like, you guys got such a huge treatment. You got such a great wrestling match. Did we really get a wrestling match that was like that legit? The only thing they were doing was like kicking out of their finishers left and right. That's what I think.
No, it's tough, man, because I feel like for instance, I got called an AEW mark. When I posted the video, I did Collision. I did a live report afterwards. And the guy called me an AEW mark, and I think like Tony Khan. Because I said...
Tell me why.
Because I was talking about the Swerve and Ospreay. I was like, if you want to continue this as a story, what would make sense in Long Island is to have MJF kind of schmoz the whole thing, and then go to a 3-way, a triple threat at All In with your 3 faces of your company in Wembley Stadium. Going with what they have now. That, again, I'm going off of, I'm not going to sit here and take erase everything they've done and be like, all right, let's start from scratch. No, I'm going with what they have done already to build up to it. That would make sense.
You sound like a mark.
I know, right? I'm Tony Khan. I love you, buddy. You know what? As a matter of fact, hold on a minute, buddy.
I remember that.
Now I feel better.
There you go. Nah, perfect.
How you doing, Tony? What's up, TK? What's up? No, but I was a little upset with the way the finish. I was because Fightful Select comes out with a story 5 hours ago, about 3:00 this afternoon, that says, and I'm gonna read straight what they wrote here.
Okay.
Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland put on a classic at AEW and JPW Forbidden Door in a booking that surprised many that saw it unfold. Swerve ended up beating Ospreay, and we're told how things happened behind the scenes somewhat emulated how they played out on screen. Those we've spoken to said that Will Ospreay, who has long been a friend of Swerve's in real life and a foe in the ring, grew tired of seeing that Swerve's title reign was a placeholder for Ospreay to win the title at All In. Sources within the company and close to Ospreay tell Sean Ross Sapp that Ospreay approached AEW hires up and extended his desire to put over Swerve to help eliminate that talking point.
Wow. You got some juicy stuff right there.
And then, but this is where some of this doesn't make sense. It says, based on what we heard, Ospreay made the approach after winning the international title and wanted to show that nobody should be above losing to the world champion. Some in the company claim that a point was being proven as a result. And then it says there were many that had previously expected Ospreay and Swerve at All In, but we're told that wasn't ever the plan. And both have different opponents planned. So Will Ospreay did this because he felt that everybody was looking at Swerve as a placeholder for Ospreay to win the title at All In. But then down here it says they were never planned to verse each other at All In. So what Ospreay did was basically said, let me lose to him to eliminate all the talk that I'm going to go for the title at All In. Even though it was never in the plans to do it, that's why this match took place.
Do you believe that?
Watching Will Ospreay right now, I believe he would do that. Whether that's
he had not lost
out 100%, but Ospreay has turned into that AEW guy.
He is.
Like to me, he's Cena in WWE. Like that's how I see Ospreay right now.
Yeah.
Like he's that guy that's going to be at AEW for years to come.
Yeah. He's into the company.
Yeah. So again, that's what's being reported by Fightful and through their sources, and they've got their Sean Ross Sapp, which they've been on top of everything else. So I'm not going to sit here and say, because I believe Will Ospreay would do that. And that makes sense seeing how everything went down, because to me, it was like, I don't know, Ospreay at the end kind of got just like not good enough to be in the ring with Swerve.
But check this out, because if you don't have Swerve at All In going up against Will Ospreay, which is one of your main guys, probably your top one, along with MJF, because you saw how MJF was saying that he wanted to fight this guy, the one who dances, forgot his name, the one that goes like this.
Oh, that's the other Daniel Garcia. I got Daniel Garcia. Time, and I got a question.
Daniel Garcia. But there was somebody in the post media scrum, because remember the Owen Hart tournament is still going, is going on, right? So the winner of that, and one of the guys who's in there is Bryan Danielson, if I'm not mistaken. So I heard Swerve really wants. He was saying that on his media scrum. He was saying that there's a small list of fighters that he needs to get in the ring and kind of avenge losses or whatever else he has with them. And one of them was Bryan Danielson. So I think that's where they're gonna head with Swerve. It's gonna.
But isn't the finals at All In?
I don't know. I'm not too sure. I thought the final was gonna be done beforehand, and then that the winner of the Owen Hart would challenge the champion, because they were copying King of the Ring is what they were doing.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe then that would already.
But I mean, it could be that the final is at All In. But
now I have a question here before we end things, okay? Because we got about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
What the hell?
You could go on, but I gotta go.
I'm 10 minutes and then I'm good. I got stuff I gotta knock out too as well. Got to finish up. Daniel Garcia in Buffalo, leading into a pay-per-view. Okay, think about this. The week of the pay-per-view, you saw how Raw was leading into the thing. You saw how SmackDown was a week out. Next week, this one leading in. Your first segment, MJF enters into the arena. No, I'm sorry. No, MJF came first. Then Daniel Garcia comes down.
Like he barely says anything, I think.
Yeah, and then MJF's like, I'm going to give you a shot at All In. It's MJF against, and then before he can answer it, Will Ospreay comes down and is like, bruv, I'm going to give you a shot at both titles, all the gold next week on Dynamite, which is now just the international title.
Yeah, he was trying to one-up him.
Yeah,
right?
he was trying to one-up him and everything there, or at least that's the way the story they're going with, one-upping him.
Yeah.
But I get it. It's Buffalo. I get it that's Daniel Garcia's home. But, like, the kid's going to be good. Don't get me wrong. But what the hell is this week about? Like, are they trying to re-sign him and this is what they're going to do for him? Like, it just doesn't make sense, because then on Collision, it was the Battle of Buffalo. It was Daniel Garcia versus the Butcher. And apparently they've wrestled each other in around the Buffalo area before.
Okay.
He beats Butcher.
That was the main event, a Collision?
No, it wasn't the main event. It was the match. But he beats them. They pick up, they hug, they slap, they walk up the ramp together. Then you're at the main event. You're the main event of Forbidden Door.
I saw that. He was watching.
They go to the thing and he's watching. And then they go to the back and it's MJF. Like, why is he even in this picture? I get it. He's going to be good. He is good. But to elevate him to that level right now, like, I feel like you're pushing here.
I think they're not elevating him, bro. I think they're setting it up for MJF versus Will Ospreay at All In.
I believe that too. But you have him in. Dude, they did after the show. They're tearing the ring down and moving chairs, and it's Daniel Garcia saying, "My time is now." Wednesday at Dynamite, I'm taking the international title as they're tearing down the Forbidden Door. He's like, I'm not missing another pay-per-view. Like, what's going on there? And again, he's a good performer. He's very young. He's got plenty of time. Like, I just don't feel like you throw out Swerve, MJF, Will Ospreay, Daniel Garcia. One doesn't belong right now. Ultimately, maybe, yes. But I feel like you're pushing a little bit too much right now for Daniel Garcia.
I think what happened here is, remember, they're fighting for that belt that Will Ospreay has on Wednesday.
Yeah, international, yes.
For the international belt. So obviously I don't see him beating Will Ospreay. But then where does that kind of leave Danny Garcia? Because now
Danny Garcia almost has to win this.
Yeah, because then you're hurting him, because then he's not even going to be an All In.
What if MJF helps him though? And then it's MJF Will Ospreay.
But if he helps him, then he has to win the belt. So then that would mean
Will Ospreay versus Will Ospreay the title, right?
Dude, after giving so many victories to Will Ospreay, you're gonna give him back-to-back losses? He loses both belts literally in one shot.
You won up me last week. I'll one up you big time this week.
You could go that route. You could.
Again, but then that's the only way to me it makes sense to have Daniel Garcia being shown the way he is.
Like, if they really wanted to sell it, they should have put in this fight for All In and given Danny Garcia that spotlight. Hey, let's do Will Ospreay versus Danny Garcia at All In. And it's still a good fight. It not only are you getting a Will Ospreay, but you're also getting an up-and-comer who's probably going to be elevated because of the venue is.
The rub from don't get me wrong, he's gonna get the rub from this. I just feel like when you throw those four names out there, one doesn't belong right now.
No.
And again, I'm not saying he's not sooner or later going to get there. I think he's got a lot of potential and he's pretty damn good right now. But when you look at the main event picture, it felt odd to me. It felt like, okay, it's your hometown. We're going to get everybody going. Yay, yay, yay. And it's just like, but now you're going to, I forget where they're at this week. That's not Daniel Garcia's hometown anymore. If anything, you should have got the shot there.
It makes too much sense for them to go ahead and do that, give them the shot at Buffalo. Like, at the end of the day, man, it's typical AEW. And like you said, it looks like they're doing the same thing that they did with Dusty for a minute. You know how they elevated Dusty, like, because Cody had won the belt at that time. And then all of a sudden, they gave him like a random Dynamite. And then after that, we're done.
Gone. All right, real quick. The wild card is being added for the Elite. They're bringing in a new guy. Who is the gentleman that will take on Jeff Jarrett tomorrow night?
There's a wild card guy coming in?
Yeah, the Elite. They're bringing in their fourth member. And he's going to win the gold. So now the Elite will have all the gold since Jack Perry won the TNT title.
Well, you know what? He didn't show up at Forbidden Door. I'm going to say he shows up at Dynamite, right? Because it's supposed to happen at Dynamite?
Yes.
All right. Adam Hangman Page. He betrays.
Well, they did a video. Did you see? Oh, I don't think you did because it was on Forbidden Door, I believe.
Okay.
I believe he's going to come back and take out the Elite. He was sitting in a room and like everything had been moved out. Remember how the crib and everything was there with Swerve and all that?
Yes.
Now all the furniture's gone. It's him drinking and it's a picture and it's showing the EVPs talking and like everybody's left him.
They did that video?
Yes. And like everybody's left him. So I don't know that it's going to be Hangman Page. Not going to say it's not, but judging by that video, which I'm not sure that you've seen, I would say that it's probably not Hangman Adam Page.
Oh, that sucks. Okay, well, I didn't know that.
I don't know what they're going to do with him. It seems like he's going to go like a dark kind of character now.
Oh, I see.
Does he come back with the Dark Order?
Wild card versus Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah,
and it's an Owen Hart guy.
Yes, and Jeff Jarrett had that damn emotional ass video.
He did.
That they promoted and it went a little bit viral about how good they're like. I don't know. Like a lot of people are saying this is where Ricochet comes in.
I was thinking that's the only other person I could think of.
It's got to, I mean, and again, that's where I'd said if Ricochet doesn't show up at Dynamite, does he show up at Money in the Bank? But all odds are that he is going to be going to AEW. My understanding is he is AEW. But does he fit in that role with the Elite?
Ooh, to bring in Ricochet to join the Elite. I don't know about all that, man. Yo, this beach break tomorrow, it's a pretty solid card.
It's a Dynamite, man. Every Dynamite's solid.
It's a solid. I'm on their site and I'm looking at it.
The wrestling with AEW is never an issue. It's not the wrestling. The cards are always stacked.
Look at that. You got Will Ospreay versus Danny Garcia. You got Pac versus Bryan Danielson, and it's also the Owen Hart tournament. You got Chris Statlander versus Willow Nightingale.
Yep, that's a Owen Hart.
You have the wild card with Jeff Jarrett. Yo, is this stacked,
Owen
bro?
Hart, yeah.
And they're in Chicago, so they're gonna be screaming out CM Punk for sure.
Yep. Oh, imagine if his music hit and it was CM Dump.
No, I'm so glad we haven't seen CM Dump. All
right, hey, we got a couple minutes. Let them know where they can see you and get your social media out there, man.
All right, so guys, don't forget to hit us up. We will be doing the show tomorrow. Let me talk to you 8 o'clock. We'll be doing a recap. We'll be recapping actually the soccer game that's going to happen like in the next 5 minutes. And we're also going to be recapping, the NBA moves, the Miami Heat not doing anything, which is pissing a lot of us off. Can talk about a little bit about the Dolphins, the whole Tua contract, and what side do you guys decide you think we should go with, which is whether Tua or Greer. And then obviously we're going to talk a little bit. We'll talk about the United States and how the United States choked their way out of the Copa America. The Euros, we'll talk a little bit about the Euros. So we're going to talk about everything as well as NXT. So we were in hiatus last week because we were in Houston, but this week we're back. So you could definitely hit us up and check out the show. Let me talk to you. The Frankie Fresco channel is me and my brother. And you could always follow me and subscribe to this channel and obviously to my Frankie Fresco channel. And then follow me at Fresco Music on all social media platforms. And I think we're good. I'm ready. I hope I sold it as best as I can. Better than the shirts that I saw that they were selling at Forbidden Door.
Very nice. Also, you can check me out at Sean_Stanley11, all social media platforms, Stanley Media House Network on Facebook and YouTube. And of course, you can subscribe to Stanley Media House Network on YouTube. And also, Frankie, I'm going to take you off for 1 minute because I'm going to go take the whole screen because I'm going to show some shirts that are going to be coming out. Hold on.
Sweet.
So these are the new Squared Circle Digest dry fit shirts. They'll be in different colors. I've got hoodies. We've got hoodies. We've got no sleeves. We've got long sleeves. We've got regular shirts in different colors. So please go check us out. Stanley Media House Network on YouTube. Send me a DM if you're interested in a shirt. We also have our little cups, which I don't have any here. And we have, check it out. Mouse pads, baby. Come on, everybody needs a mouse pad.
Is that like a camel type of looking shirt?
Yeah, it's digital. Digicamo.
Nice.
Digicamo. I don't know if you can see it. See it?
Yeah, no, it looks good, man. It definitely looks good.
So we got all that happening. Again, it is at Sean_Stanley11, XIG Threads, Stanley Media House Network on YouTube, Facebook, at Frankie Fresco. Check him out tomorrow, him and his brother. Let me talk to you. And right now we've got 2 words to say to you. Frankie Fresco, take us home.
What do you want me to say?
What's your team slogan, man?
Oh, let's go Colombia.